When a bird escapes a predator, it violently thrashes in the dart for several seconds, discharging a massive burst of energy before returning to calm. A human in a similar state of threat often remains perfectly rigid, sitting in a stillness that can last for years. This creates a clinical paradox. While wild animals move through extreme threat with fluid transitions, the human system stays locked in a survival response for decades after the event has passed. This rigidity suggests that trauma behaves less like a cognitive memory and more like an unfinished physiological cycle, a cascade of physical responses that was initiated but never reached its conclusion. Dr. Peter Levine's research into the biology of trauma focuses on this specific architecture, how the nervous system processes, or fails to process, overwhelming threat. By tracing how the freeze response develops, we can see the exact path where biology degrades into chronic pathology, and how that process can be reversed. Approaching trauma from this biological perspective shifts the focus of the practitioner. If the lock is physiological, then the intervention must address the nervous system directly, rather than relying on cognitive explanation alone. The human defense system operates as a unified architecture. Fight, flight, and freeze are part of a single, escalating pathway. Initially, extreme arousal triggers a fight or flight attempt. When these options are physically or situationally obstructed, forward movement hits a ceiling. That survival energy violently recoils and compresses into the nervous system's final option, immobility. The energy is now bound tightly. This freeze is an active physiological circuit breaker. It is a high-energy state designed to prevent systemic overload when the organism is trapped and overwhelmed. Within this lock, the frustrated fight response manifests as rage, while the frustrated flight response becomes helplessness. These are physiological realities held in suspension. Chronic symptoms function as a safety valve for this system. They allow the organism to bleed off small amounts of pressure to keep the system running despite the explosive potential energy trapped inside. If animals discharge this energy naturally, we have to look at why the human system fails to reset once the threat is gone. The human neocortex, the seat of our rational, analytical thinking, frequently overrides the restorative instincts of the reptilian brain. Our capacity to over-control our impulses blocks the necessary discharge. The neocortex perceives the frozen energy as a threat, generating terror directed at the immobility. This is the vicious cycle. Fear maintains the freeze. The terror signals form a closed loop, sealing it shut and keeping the nervous system trapped. This trap drives the dysregulation spiral. The frozen core remains, building defensive layers over time. Through cumulative freezing, every unresolved trigger adds a new, thicker layer of energy to the spiral, expanding its overall size and volatility. When a client erupts or completely shuts down, their reaction reflects this historical load. They are summoning the compound interest of years of unfinished survival responses. At the peak of this spiral, the neocortex effectively goes offline. The client is no longer operating on logic. They are operating on reptilian time. This is why cognitive reasoning fails at the peak of dysregulation. You cannot rationalize with a circuit breaker that has been thrown to prevent a total system collapse. To resolve this, the practitioner must uncouple the physical immobility from the fear response that keeps it in place. Forcing a client to relive the trauma core, or pushing for a massive emotional release, directly mimics the original overwhelming threat. This chart shows the danger of exposure without resource. A spike in arousal, without a corresponding increase in adaptive capacity, causes the nervous system to refreeze, unable to finish his defense or his escape. Levine began at the periphery, anchoring Marius in the positive sensation of his new sturdy pants. This somatic resource provided a felt sense of strength before they ever approached the memory. This is the mechanism of titration. Adaptive resources and arousal must increase together. You expand the client's capacity on the x-axis before allowing the activation to climb on the y-axis. By staying anchored in the strength of his legs, Marius was able to face the memory without collapsing. His body finally completed the deep instinctual defense and full escape patterns that had been interrupted for 17 years. The nervous system does not care that the dogs are long gone. It only knows that the sequence was unfinished. When the body executes those movements in a resource state, the system updates to the present. Renegotiation is about building enough biological capacity that completing the survival response feels safe for the organism to attempt. When the therapeutic container provides enough safety, the immobility begins to thaw on its own biological terms. As the fear lock dissolves, the compressed energy begins its discharge. The nervous system starts to move toward the completion it has been waiting for. The discharge follows Levine's observation. As they go in, so they come out. The emotional state present when the organism entered the freeze is the exact state that reemerges during the exit. A client who froze in terror will experience a surge of terror as they thaw. If they froze in rage, rage will rise. This is the bound energy finally moving through the system. This eruption represents the biology attempting to finish its work. It indicates that the thawing process is successful, not a sign of clinical failure. If a practitioner misinterprets this activation and shuts it down, they risk re-triggering the vicious cycle. The energy must be allowed to move, even when it is intense. Holding space for this precise exit state is the definitive work of somatic practice. It requires the practitioner to witness the discharge without interrupting the completion. The drive to complete a survival response is persistent. It remains active in the nervous system regardless of how much time has passed, waiting for the right conditions to resolve. This biology informs the BSM framework, particularly the use of the heart-brain feedback tool, or HBF. The extended exhale used in HBF breathwork acts as a vagal brake. Mechanically, this pushes the adaptive resource axis outward, establishing the physiological felt sense of safety necessary for the next step. This ensures that resource and arousal rise together. By building that safety first, you prevent the client from hitting the immobility ceiling when the traumatic material is approached. The goal is not to convince the neocortex the threat is over through words or logic. Instead, we build somatic safety to uncouple the fear from the freeze. We give the reptilian brain the physical permission it needs to finish its job. A body in freeze is a body in high-fidelity loyalty to its own survival. It simply waits for the engineered safety necessary to complete its work and finally heal.